evaluation metrics and the log-loss model. Let's continue our discussion on evaluation metrics. By the end of this topic, you will be able to explain how the log-loss model helps in distinguishing between two identical models. Now to understand this better, let's look at the image shown on the screen. We know that the log-loss calculates the error of the classification model, right? Unlike precision, recall and F1 score, the smaller the value of log-loss, the better the model. Let us first understand the image before we dive deep into this. The blue points represent class 0 and the red points represent class 1. The blue line on the far left represents the 0 probability and the red line on the far right represents the probability of 1. The dotted line in the center represents the probability threshold of 0.50. In model C1, we can clearly see that although the points are on the correct side of the threshold, the blue points are quite far away from the probability of 0. Also, the red points are farther away from the desired probability of 1. As a result, the log-loss in this case is more. To verify this mathematically, let's give you a quick exercise. Revisit the log-loss function that we saw in the previous video and put in the values of y and y hat, that is actual class and predicted probabilities. Did you observe that farther a predicted probability is from its true class, higher is the log-loss function? But how does that matter? To understand this better, let's consider another model C2 alongside C1. In case of model C2, we can clearly see that blue and red points are closer to the desired probability of 0 and 1. As a result, the calculated log-loss of model C2 will be lower than the model C1. So, we learned that even if all the classification evaluation metrics corresponding to the two models are identical, using the log-loss itself can help us distinguish between the apparent identical models. To frame it in simpler words, we can say that the model C2 is more confident in its predictions as compared to the model C1. So that's it in this video. In the next one, we will discuss the last evaluation metric for the classification problems, which is called the AOC-ROC metric.